Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Freedom Mentor Live. I am your host, Phil Pustiovsky. So glad to have you. Welcome, Brian.
Hey Phil, how are you this evening?
I am great. Brian, the co-host and part of our team. Brian and I have worked together for almost 2 decades. We are deeply passionate about creative real estate investing and real estate in general. And so tonight, you all have a great treat. We're going to talk about how to communicate. We're going to talk about a skill that is not shared very often, but boy, is it profitable. But first, let's make sure that this system is all uh, working correctly. All right. So, for those of you that are with us, I want you all to click on the little chat, even if you're on your mobile device as well. Let's go to the chat here. Yeah, and for those of you who are sharing where you're from, yeah, Mike from Wisconsin, welcome, Mike. Yeah, share where y'all are coming to us from. I'm coming to you from the sunny state of Florida, and I got something to share with you all about Florida. So you might think that, oh, it's summertime and it gets so hot and it's just so uncomfortable. So I'm on the East Coast. I'm just south of Daytona on a little barrier island called New Smyrna, and it's really not fair. We don't get much hotter than about 87. And yeah, okay, there's a little bit of humidity, but it usually rains in the afternoon. And then by the evening now, like right now, I mean, it's like 74, 75, just perfect. So if you thought that it was unfair because Florida, it was not comfortable in the summertime, let me tell you, where I'm at is really comfortable. I've got an ocean breeze. And I've been, Brian, I was at Wisconsin, I was in Minnesota one time in the middle of summer, and it was like 97. See, that's not fair.
No.
So you burn up in the summer and you freeze to death in the winter. That's not cool. Jeremy from Indiana, welcome, Jeremy. Timothy from LA. Now, there's two LAs in the United States, Timothy. In fact, one of our guests next week, she'll be coming to us from Lower Alabama. She's from LA too. Oh, Los Angeles. There we go. There it is. Michael from New Braunfels. Michael, when I was a kid, I grew up half in New England. My parents were separated, so my dad in Massachusetts and my mom was in Texas, and we would go to Schlitterbahn there in New Braunfels. Brian, you been to Schlitterbahn?
I've been to Schlitterbahn. We go a lot closer to the river rafting and everything over in Canyon Lake in that
Okay,
area. So
okay. I mean, that was like the greatest thing on earth. This huge water park along that river. That was just the coolest thing ever. So Michael in New Braunfels, when I think of New Braunfels, I think of Schlitterbahn. I think it's one of the coolest places ever. Um, Timothy grew up in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, or should I say New Hampshire? It's New Hampshire. Yes. Uh, and we have Milford, or if you're from Massachusetts, you'd pronounce it Milford. Matter of fact, that's a town in Massachusetts, is Milford. Uh, Thomas from St. Louis. All right, we got a great group on here. All right, y'all. Well, as part of our topic, I want to ask this question. Uh, what is your favorite business book? Welcome, Tom Gates from California. What is your favorite business book that you've read? I'm going to say recently. It's okay if it's been a year or two or three. Just your favorite business book you've read. And of course, throw it in the chat there because I think everybody will get to benefit from that, from not only your responses, but as everybody shares their responses, we'll come up with potentially some really good books. And if no one's read any books, that's okay too. I'll suggest one here in a second. Um, all right, so Jose said Rich Dad. Now I think there's a lot of those different books, so I'm assuming you're talking about the original, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that's Milford there. Milford is from Moreno Valley of Connecticut. Okay, yeah. So if you're in Connecticut, you've heard some people pronounce your name Milford, or pretty close to Milford. Um, Everything from Chris. I can't pronounce his last name. Haron. Okay, I haven't heard that one, Timothy. That's a good one. Okay, I'm gonna throw one out here. Main Street Millionaire by that Douglas just posted. Main Street Millionaire. I probably don't read as many books as I should anymore. Uh, Beyond Entrepreneurship 2.0 by Jim Collins. I'm going to drop this in the chat, everybody. Brian, I feel like uh, I've rediscovered Jim Collins all over again. Jim's books are right up there. Huge fan of his original two books, which was Good to Great and Built to Last. And these became part of the canon of great business books at business schools. Just amazing. So he does these giant 5 to 10 year research projects and then puts a book together and describes things that no one's ever thought of before because his research is so good. Well, Beyond Entrepreneurship 2.0 by Jim Collins is basically a conglomeration of his 40 years as a thought leader in business, combined with his mentor's book. And Beyond Entrepreneurship 2.0, y'all, is a business book. That's about as good as it ever gets. Real estate books, you know what I think about those right there. If I get my finger to do it, those would be my two books, of course. All right, y'all. Well, let's dive into communicating like a pro for creative real estate investors. So, let me ask this question here. Love to get a take on the audience in regards to communicating. Do you consider yourself to be a people person? So, Brian, do you consider yourself a people person? Like growing up, were you a people person?
You know, it's interesting. I'm definitely more introverted, but I
Mhm.
can be a people person. It's just if it's left up to me, I'd rather keep to myself. But when,
Yeah.
when in the right settings, I like people. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's kind of mixed.
Sure. Now, y'all will find this surprising. My superlative as a senior in high school in the senior yearbook, and I've got it somewhere, right? I got to find it. I could show it to y'all. Um, I was most talkative. There you go. I know it's a surprise. No, I am a people person. And what you're about to discover, and people are still chiming in here, Brian. We'll show you the results here in a second. Is this topic of communication is actually not anything to do with your personality, whether you're introverted or extroverted, whether you are the type of person that loves to be around a lot of other people or would rather be alone. That is actually not part of what makes for great communicating in real estate. So, either side of where you land on that. And here we go, everybody. I'm going to end this poll. Some of y'all may still be trying to decide where you stand. So, 75% of our group, Brian, consider themselves to be people persons, and the other 25% no. So, I put you, Brian, from what you shared, you probably would err toward being just in a personality test, maybe more introverted, but obviously you can turn on the charm when you need to. Look at that smile. Of course you can, right? So, um, all right, y'all. Well, that's good to know. I thought it was going to be 50-50. Very cool getting to know you all out there in the audience. Um, all right, so communicating like a pro for creative real estate investors. We're going to give you some great insights on this, some tips that you can take with you, not just in real estate, but literally in all parts of your life. Being a better communicator is such a valuable skill. All right, first things first. Real estate is a people business. Okay, it doesn't mean you need to be a people person. It means it's a people business. So AI is not going to replace real estate and what we do in real estate and what a lot of practitioners do in real estate. I mean, you're interacting with sellers, you're interacting with buyers in some cases or buyers agents. You're interacting with title companies, you're interacting with inspectors. You're interacting with a lot of different people and learning how to be a people person. I mean, as it pertains to the business side, where you know what to do and how to communicate and how to interact with people, it can make all the difference. And again, you can be very introverted and be great in this business in how you deal with people. So, the Bible, if you will, on the subject of dealing with people. Actually, I got to get there. I'll get there in a second. But I put this slide in here, Brian, to remind myself of the extraordinary value that comes with being good in dealing with people. So Rockefeller, which if you all have not read his the most recent biography about him, called Titan by Chernow. Oh, what a book on business. Oh my, is it good? It's over on my one of my bookshelves over there. So he said, I will pay more for the ability to deal with people than any other ability under the sun. It's so profitable what we're about to share with you. And even if you think you know how to deal with people, I'm learning every day still. I mean, every single day I'm dealing with so many different people. I'm still getting better and better and better. I still make a lot of mistakes and I'm still trying to hone that craft because, as Rockefeller, one of the wealthiest people of all time, this is so valuable. And in the initial Bible on this topic is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Right here, Brian, I've got this version of the book here. I actually have a version right up here, one of those old school versions, like it's the older book. Uh, this book was originally printed in 19, was it 38? Maybe a little earlier. 1936. 1936, everybody. There is so much wisdom in here because the great news is people haven't changed. Not since 1936. People still respond and behave the same as they did in 1936. In fact, Brian, I keep this on my desk right here. Y'all can see that. The Golden Book. It's like this little pamphlet, and it has like a summary of the book of how to win friends and influence people.
Nice.
And Stephanie, one of our team members who's part of the tonight's event, Stephanie, if you could drop in the chat for me. Perfect. I literally give the book away for free on our website, and I know that's the PDF version, and I'm sure you can find the audio version on YouTube. It's a really quick read, and just skim it. Just skim the headlines. Just do it quickly. Or if you've got this little golden book, I'll go over some of those here in a minute. Uh, this stuff makes so much money in real estate when you follow these things. And I know that some of you all are thinking, all right, where's these really complicated technical techniques where you do a subject to using a trust and you have owner financing in the second position and you get a title company to issue title insurance and you have all these complicated matters. But look, none of that matters if you're not able to deal with people wisely because the sellers aren't going to work with you. The title companies aren't going to work with you. In cases where you need to secure financing, especially with a hard money lender, they're not going to want to work with you. Like in other words, you can poison everything, all of your other efforts if you don't work with people wisely, if you don't communicate wisely. So oh, and thanks, Douglas. It's on audible.com. But Audible might actually charge for it. So I'm just trying to give you all the free way to something produced in 1936 that is so, so good. All right. So I'm going to share with you all three concrete keys to great communication in real estate. And then I'm going to introduce a guest who has done a lot of deals with us, has gone on to be very, very successful in his own right in real estate. And he just happens to really enjoy this topic of dealing with sellers. He's a former special forces in the military, and so we're going to talk a little bit about just coming from that background into communicating with people. And so before he jumps on here, let me give you these three keys to the great communicating in real estate. Here's the first big one: questions are the answer. Questions are the answer. When in doubt, ask a question. When you're wondering what to say to a title company, to a seller, to a buyer's agent, to an inspector, to an appraiser, to anyone in real estate, anyone in business, if you don't know what to say, ask a question and then be quiet. Ask a question. All right, put in the chat, everybody. If you've done any real estate before, ask or drop in the chat your favorite question to ask a seller. Favorite question to ask a seller. Drop that in the chat. Brian, what's one of your favorite questions you like to ask a seller?
Well, I think mine is a recurring one because what I find is most people don't dig deep enough, right? They're probably nervous. They don't want to miss a question. They're just reeling down the list and asking everything, but they don't dig deep enough. So I would say my follow-up is really my favorite, which is tell me more, right? I want to
Mm,
understand more of what's going on. Let's not assume we both speak the same language, because in most cases, people don't speak real estate the same way we do.
yeah.
So those assumptions can kill you.
Oh, that's a big one. I love that. Tell me more. So, Milford, you suggested why have you decided to sell? That's right. And R posted there, why are you selling? Yeah, big question, isn't it? Why are you selling? But then you add to that what Brian just said. They usually don't give you the full answer after your first question. You usually have to ask at least one more, sometimes two more times. So, Brian, you have several children. I have four. And one of the great skills children have is the ability to ask the follow-up question, why? So, Dad, can I go over to my friend's house this evening? No, not tonight, darling. I'm sorry. Why? I've got a live event, Zoom with our audience and with Brian and a special guest. So I'm not going to be able to either drive you over there or pick you back up. Well, why can't Mom do it? Right? So they just ask a follow-up question. Just ask a follow-up question. That is so, so powerful. That first question then allows you to ask that next layer and then that next layer. So Douglas, you put in here, if I could show you how I can net 10 to 15% above market value, would that be okay or would that be of interest to you? Hmm. If I could show you how, right? So I'm assuming that you might be a real estate agent. So maybe as you're positioning and you're talking to a client, yeah, would that be of interest to you? And so the obviously is creating some permission there, right? There's a little permission in that question. I'm a student of great questions, everybody. So I look at a question and I try to dissect exactly what the style of that question is. Questions can absolutely unlock so many challenges in your life, not just real estate. Ask your spouse, ask your friends, ask your family, ask people you meet more questions. So one of my favorite books of all time was the Millionaire Mind by Thomas J. Stanley. And in that book, what he did was, as a professor at Georgia State University, he did a very detailed study on wealthy people. And he did these focus groups and he would meet with them. And he did this for, I don't know, 5 years. He met with them, he'd ask them a lot of questions, he'd learn about millionaires. And there's this one millionaire who described his style of interacting with people. And it was this: me is dull, dull, dull. So, what that meant was anytime he was around other people, he asked them questions. Now, he was a talker like me. So, this has been a great tool for me in dealing with sellers and in dealing with everybody in business. And that is because I like to talk, I have to have an outlet, right? Of course, this is an outlet right here tonight. Another outlet is I get to ask a question. The other night I was at a soccer game with my kids, and one of the parents I was talking to just started asking him questions. I learned that he wrote a book about himself. I learned that he had come out of gang life in New York City to become a successful healthcare marketing executive. It's fascinating, all because I asked questions. So Questions are the answers, everybody. The more questions you ask, the more you unlock opportunities to do deals in real estate. Sellers will tell you everything you need to know to structure the right deals if you ask great questions. If you don't, if instead you make assumptions, as Brian mentioned, if instead you just tell them a lowball offer, you're just going to get no's. You got to ask them questions. So, when are you thinking of moving? Why do you want to move then? What's holding you back from moving sooner? Oh, I see. Have you tried to sell this property before? By the way, in our program, when we mentor and do deals together with our people, we have an entire list of power questions. We teach you so much about asking great questions and asking follow-up questions. You unlock tremendous opportunities. Electrical engineering is a great outlet. There it is. Um, say more about that. Kidding. Ask a great question. That's exactly right. So, if questions are the answers, this is critically important. Here we go. Part two. You got to be a great listener. Sorry, fellas, but we don't have a good reputation of listening. Got a special guest coming on next week, and she's passionate about more women being creative real estate investors, not just real estate agents, but creative real estate investors out there. And one of her main arguments is, ladies, we are better listeners than men. It's true, they are. You've got to learn how to listen. And here's my big tip on that. Listen carefully. Instead of waiting for someone to stop talking so you can tell them what you want to say, completely ignore what you're about to say and just listen to them. Just don't even think about what you're about to say next. Just ignore all that and just listen, really listen to what they're telling you. If you can be a great listener when you ask questions, most of your communication challenges are solved. Most of your real estate challenges are solved. What if you're dealing with a title company and they say, "Oh, we can't process this file." And what if you say to them, "Well, then forget you. I'm going to go find somebody new." What if instead you ask the question, "Well, why?" Well, the problem we're having with this file right now is that your name is not on this contract, and it's some other name, and we can't trace that back. That's an LLC that I just set up. Let me share that with you. Do you have any other? Is there anything else that is getting in the way? When you ask questions and then you listen carefully, you solve so many real estate problems all at once, and it's shocking how many real estate investors don't do this. And this is one of the things we preach in our program. This is one of the many reasons why our people are so successful. We go well beyond just the fundamental mechanics of being a real estate investor. We show you how to be a pro. We show you how to be someone that asks great questions and then listens carefully, actively, and asks follow-up questions based on what was said. I got news for you. There's no such thing as a perfect script about what to say to a seller. It's not a script. It's a talk track. It's a series of power questions, and then it's about how you can actively listen. The better you listen in your relationships with your spouse and with your kids and with your family and with your friends and with strangers, I mean, it's like a whole new door opens up to you. So when in doubt, ask a question and then listen to their answer. And if you don't hear their answer, these days, so much of our communication on a cell phone, when the phone is not, when it's not connecting, let them know. Hey, you're breaking up. I'm sorry. I really want to hear what you shared. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you. Be a great listener. And then number three, be forthright with your helpful solutions. And this is something I'm really excited to bring Matt on here in just a moment. He's going to talk a lot more about this. But be straightforward. People need authenticity and and to be genuine right now. They want you to tell them as if you were counseling your family or friend. They want you to provide specific solutions, again, after you've listened, right? It'd be like walking into a doctor and the doctor's saying, "All right, here's the plan. I'm going to give you these three antibiotics, and I'm going to have you do this, this, and this. And you say, doctor, I haven't even told you why I'm even here, right? That'd be nuts. So you have to first learn, listen, understand, then you provide a solution. And it needs to be one that's helpful, and that is that it's not cagey. It's not something that you're trying to navigate around. Oh, I shouldn't tell them that. Share it with them. And when you do that, trust goes through the roof. Number one, you ask the right questions. Number two, you listen carefully. So number three, you gave the right solutions. And then if the sellers do, you know what these title companies and everybody else in the business world does? They go, finally, somebody's delivering what I want. So going back to our golden book here. So Brian, I just shared you the top. We talked about the top three. So principles from How to Win Friends and Influence People from 1936. It says, become genuinely interested in other people. Hmm. Be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. Talk in terms of the other person's interests. How about that? 1936, 2026, and ultimately, it's extremely profitable. Those simple lessons I just shared with you, and I know we covered some great stuff and some good stuff in the chat. Uh, that can make you so much money. That can make you so much money when you master that. And that's what we do in our program. We help people master the art of communication. And it has, as you can see, nothing to do with being a people person. It's about being learning the skill and the art of asking great questions, listening, and then providing solutions that actually fit for the client you're talking to. All right, let's bring on Matt here. Matt, come on out here from backstage. There he is. Welcome, Matt.
Hey, Phil. Hey, Brian.
How's it going?
It's good, man. It's going real good.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. So let me introduce you to Matt here. So Matt is a graduate of our Freedom Mentor Apprentice program. Him and I, we and our team, we made a lot of money together. We did deals together. We shared in the profits. He made over $500,000. We shared in the profits 50-50 on that. That is our model. We do deals together. We work with you step by step, hand in hand, and we walk you through these deals until you make a bunch of money. And then once you've got that money in your pocket and net profits, then you graduate and then you get to fly and you get to leave the nest and you get to go on to bigger and better things. Matt has been with us before on a live Zoom. Now, last time he was there, he was talking about the topic of acquiring rentals, which he has done, and he's created a wonderful lifestyle for himself. And he's been very patient, very strategic about collecting those rentals, building up that cash flow. Tonight, we're going to focus on the topic of connecting with sellers, communicating. And it's because we were talking last week, Matt, right? And we were trying to come up with some ideas of what we thought would be a fun thing to talk about, something you're passionate about. And this happens to be something that you really enjoy talking about, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to talk to people to do deals, just like you said. I mean, you don't have to be a people person, but you do need to understand the problem that you're trying to solve. And if you're actually trying to help them, then it's actually pretty easy once you do it a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah. Now let's go back a bit. All right. So, first of all, let me ask you this polling question. Do you consider yourself, and growing up and as a kid, did you always consider yourself a people person, or are you more introverted?
Not that I'm introvert, I just don't like my friend circle is very small.
Uh-huh.
It's very small. So, especially like you had mentioned, being in a special operation community, it just kind of inherently you got a small group of friends. So I've never
Sure.
really been a people person because most everybody that I've interacted with professionally after high school has been A-type special operator that is not what everybody experiences. So
Yeah.
I would say, no, I'm not a people person, but I can definitely talk to people anywhere and any time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And this is fantastic because I think for some people they're trying to reconcile the idea of, okay, I want to be in real estate, Phil. I want to produce these huge results that create that lifestyle that I want. But Phil, I'm not a social butterfly. I don't have this giant network of friends. And because I've always been a little bit annoyed, Matt, by the idea that, real estate's about who you know and about networking. And I've always been like, no, it's not really what it's about. I mean, you have to
No.
know how to get these deals. But
Yeah.
you come from special forces. What was that communication style like when
Very
it's
clear and direct. Yeah. Yeah. Or bad things happen. So yeah,
yeah.
that's exactly right. But I will add on to that. I wasn't mainly a people person, but after I read some of those books that you had discussed, and there's a couple other ones and stuff like that, once you learn the psychology of people and like you kind of learn how to solve problems, it's really easy to talk to people. Just like you said on that one little gold book, you want to definitely be interested in other people, genuinely be interested in them, let them do the talking, and yeah, it's pretty easy once you learn how to do it. But everybody else no, doesn't listen. They just want to tell you their side of the story, and it
Yeah.
seems that if they walk away and the conversation was good in their eyes, all that means is they did all the talking. That's what it is. That's what it means. They did all the talking. So most people have good conversations with me. So I guess I let them talk.
There it is. So for some of you out there that are like, well, I'm kind of quiet and reserved and shy. Perfect. I mean, like that's what you want. You want to be able to actually be willing to allow for uncomfortable silence.
Hmm.
I've made so much money in real estate from uncomfortable silence. It just sits in the air, right? You're in the house with the seller and you ask a question, what's the absolute minimum you'd be willing to take? And then there's this silence. And then they think. And then and it's almost painful if you're a talker like me, it's just that you just want to cut it. And by the way, Ranjit just talked about which books, and so yeah, we'll talk a little more about that in a minute. It's a good question. And then they say it, and then I go, and I'm just patient. I'm quiet. And then they might say something else again because they've got to break that silence. It's a great point, Matt. It's a great point. So you come out of special forces, and now you've got to meet with home sellers. What did that feel like in the beginning when you first started connecting with sellers? Were you confident? Were you a little bit concerned? How did that go?
I'm giving you some awkward silence. No, it feels overwhelming, but at the same time, I didn't really get into stride until when you talk to a lot of sellers, you ask the same questions over and over and over and over. And eventually you find what works to be able to uncover what they're exactly trying to accomplish. And I always tell them, look, I need you to tell me everything so I can put these puzzle pieces together and try to make something that's going to work for you. Um, whenever I give them options, all the options work for me. Which one works for you? And that's called the assumed close, which maybe none of them work. And if they don't, that's fine. They can go find somebody else that might pay them more or whatever. But no, if it's all about the person, um, all you got to do is just ask the right questions. And once you talk to people enough, the questions will come. You'll feel more comfortable. It's just like riding a bike. So sure, it's going to be a little weird in the beginning, but once you can realize that, hey, you need to help this person and you need to provide options that can actually help them, the questions are just probes to find out how to help them.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
Yeah. So
curious, Matt, when you started this, did you think maybe this would involve a lot of sales?
um, well, that's a good question. And I found that um, the more that I try to sell, the more that people can realize that I'm trying to sell.
mm,
So the secret is not to sell them anything, it's to help solve their problems. And
Right.
until you realize that that's the whole goal is to solve the problems, um, it's going to be really difficult for you. So I think that selling is important and knowing how to talk with people and psychology and all that stuff. But all sales is getting them on your side of the table and showing them something that they might not have seen before to help solve their problems. It's not about me, it's about them because you know, like Phil said, I could not do a deal and be fine for the rest of my life. But I do like helping people and solving problems. It's fun, you know, and you do make money whenever you solve problems. The bigger the problem, the more money you make. So, I mean, I think that in time it's a lot easier to relax and actually talk with people when one, you don't need the deal. That's the big thing. And then
Yeah.
two, when you understand the problems that you're actually trying to solve and know how. And I think that once I realized how to solve the problems, I could ask the questions that would allow me to solve the problems. So it takes a little bit, but I mean, you got to put a little bit of extra time in and with a little bit of psychology side and, you know, with the questions that Freedom Mentor uses and everything, that helps. But if you don't understand why you're asking the question, it's going to be a little bit harder. So that's kind of,
Yeah, and I love your point that when you have that walk away power where you just legitimately want to help them, and if it doesn't work out, that's okay too.
yeah.
There's like a sixth sense. People can feel it, and they know when you're just you know you want this deal to make all this money. But when you come from that perspective of helping, it's all the difference in the world. So Matt, I wanted to share a couple of deals that you've done with us, and maybe we'll talk about just every aspect of it. But the first one is the Columbia Street deal, and this one. This I don't know if these were the pictures when you flipped it, but yeah, this house needed some work from the pictures I pulled up, and this one ended up making almost $60,000 for you. So yeah, if you can get back in your memory on this one, I know you do a lot of deals. What was it like dealing with this seller?
Um, this one was actually really easy. They inherited the house. And back whenever I was able to just put stuff on the market and not have to worry about all the other rules and stuff that they come up with,
Sure.
and just find a buyer that way. That's all that I did, and I didn't touch the house actually. And the numbers are a little off. I think it was more like 31,000 or something like that, if
Oh,
I remember
interesting.
correctly.
Yeah, because
But
I pulled it from our stats of what we collected. We collected half of that. So
okay, okay. Well, that would
no,
make sense. Yes.
okay.
Um, so yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all that one was just put it on the market back when it was easy and found a, I hate to say it, other than a sucker buyer. I don't know how
Yeah,
else
yeah,
to
it's an
say it.
investor buyer that
Yeah.
was paying for this property to go fix it up. Now the seller was someone that had inherited the property. Was it more than one person? Was it just one single individual that
It
inherited
was
it?
a lady. I mean, she was married, but she didn't have any other siblings or anything. So
Uh-huh.
it was actually really easy. They were really nice, and yeah, it worked actually really, really well. And the guy that bought it, I've actually sold other things too. So you know that helps kind of build a relationship and stuff that way. I didn't have his number at the time, but obviously have his number now after
Sure, sure.
do more deals and stuff. But yeah, no, that was a good deal. That was that was whenever it was a little bit easier than it is now.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, because I know that the
yeah.
laws have changed in your state a little bit on
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
ability to put a property up for sale before you're the title holder. Takes a little bit more creativity. So in an arrangement like that, when you connect with this seller and they've inherited this property, what's her motivation? Like why is she selling this property? And how did that go?
Well, I mean, look at it. She doesn't have any money to be able to fix it. She doesn't live here, and it's. I can't remember if this one was a sore subject or not. I don't think so. I think it's just she wanted a quick sale. She wanted out, take the money, and she didn't have to split it with anybody. I think that whenever there's more people involved, it
Yeah.
gets a little bit more hairy. But at the same time, my offer's not going to change depending on how many people are involved. My offer is my offer. If you don't want it, I understand.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too, is I always tell people from the get-go, hey, look, the way to make the most amount of money is put it on the market with an agent. You can put it on there with my wife, or you can find somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't care, but I want you to make the most amount of money. I understand that sometimes it's not about money and it's more about problem solving. That's when the cash offer could come into play, but it's not going to put the most amount of money in your pocket. And that's exactly what I tell them because it's true. So they know that I'm not trying to do anything or pull the wool over their eyes. They trust me. And again, it's putting the puzzle pieces together that's going to help solve their problem. She didn't want to deal with anything. She wanted a quick sale, and I was able to give that to her.
Yeah.
So,
And I
Matt,
hope. Yeah. Go ahead, Brad. Go ahead.
certainly you must have used some type of Jedi mind tricks to be able to make this kind of money, right?
Well, back then I didn't have a mohawk, so maybe that helped.
But she was a long distance seller. She was looking for the easy button. You built rapport. You learned what her problem was. You provided a solution. Like you said, if it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I love one of the things I love underneath that is you're a reluctant buyer. The seller's the seller. Their job is to sell you. You don't need to sell them on anything. You just need to let them
Hmm.
know what works for you. And that works for some people. It doesn't for others. But this sounded like a motivated seller, huh?
She was, and actually, I did meet her at the property. So she came in, so I got to meet her face to face and stuff like that. And that helps,
Mhm.
if you understand psychology and how people react and stuff like that. I like meeting in person because I can read it really easily. I can read it a lot easier than on the phone. On the phone, you still can too, but you get some of these guys. Well, what are you going to give me for my house? Blah blah blah. Are blah. Hey, look, you can ask me all these questions and me not buy your house, or you can actually tell me what you want, and we'll see if I can buy your house and see if it works for you.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're getting anywhere right here. Like if you want to hang up, that's fine. Like I'm a reluctant buyer because I am reluctant. I don't want to buy it unless it's going to make a lot of money. I do like to help people, and a lot of times I'll give them free advice that helps them out, and I don't make any money, and that's
Yeah.
fine because I don't have any risk in that deal. That's too thin to actually take on the risk. So, hey, I'm going to help you do it some other way. And it still helps you. It might not benefit me money wise, but it still helps you. And that's fine because the goal is helping people. The money will come.
Yeah. Yeah. And so this one here, the help for her was I've got a house that I now am the owner of. I don't want to have to pay the taxes. I don't want to deal with the maintenance and headaches, especially considering a lot of these municipalities these days. You get in trouble if the lawn's not mowed. You get fined. Um, it's a hassle for someone to inherit a property, especially one that hasn't been updated in a very, very long time, which is very common with inheritance properties. And so to them, it's like I just want, as Brian mentioned, the easy button. They want convenience, and when you can provide that and say, I can help you with that. That's why people call me. That's what I'll do for you. Eh, that's what they want. It can be that simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it. And yeah, this is a perfect example of following our methods on how to find those types of sellers. I'm sure some of you are like, wow, I sure would like that phone call today. But it's not just about connecting with that seller, it's how Matt did it and then meeting in person and using the skills he learned from our program and all the knowledge he gained, but then also just being a student of this stuff and knowing how to deal with people so that the person says yes, gets it signed, and then just gets the deal done, fulfills exactly what the solution that the seller wanted. All right, so yeah, this one was like a hot knife through butter, Matt, and I love that about big deals. I felt like that's always been that way my whole career, and with the people we mentor. It's like the bigger the deal, the easier it is. It's just bizarre. Sometimes the hardest deals are the ones that make almost no money. And I've never quite understood why that is.
Well, I mean, if you're going to do a deal, you might as well make it worth your time. And
Yeah.
see, when you're first starting out, you got the marketing going, you're doing all this, you're spending money, you don't have anything to show for. And I've said it again, the staying power is very important. So I don't think you should just quit your job right off the bat. Like
Yeah.
learn as you're going, have staying power, and you can then you can start doing it. Like these deals don't come all the time, and out of 100 people, you might do 5 or 6 deals, but you want to do the deals that are going to make you the most money because any deal that you commit to, like I said, there's risk. And if you're first starting out, one deal can take you under. You don't want that to happen. You want to be successful. Like you joined it to be able to be successful. So just be very picky. And it's very difficult whenever you're a dog in heat, just like Phil likes to use. It's one of those things to where you just got to take a step back, try to help them, and then obviously you want to make sure that the room is big enough to make us a good spread. So have your minimums and don't do anything underneath that. And again, you could do a $5,000 wholesale deal, or you can do a $20,000 wholesale deal. I'd rather do 5 deals a year that make me 350 grand or more instead of doing 50 deals a year to just brag to your people where you lost money on half of them.
Right.
They show you the checks of, hey, I made $50,000. No, you didn't. You got a check for 50. but you spent 75. So yeah, I just, it's all smoke and mirrors. There's no smoke and mirrors of Freedom Mentor. Zero. It's not easy, but there's no smoke and mirrors. I'll tell you everything you need to do. I mean, I did it. I was just a normal dude, and I'm still just a normal dude. But well, maybe normal, maybe not normal, but I'm still just a dude that learned from Phil, and I've just put into practice and made it my goal to be able to be successful. I think burning the ships is very important. So that means that if you're going to commit all the way, no matter what. I was going to pay Phil off if it took me 20 years to do it, because that's just how it was going to be. And I think this was my next to last deal. So don't think that. I think my first deal I made $3,500.
Yeah.
So next to last deal that I did with Phil, the next one after that made just as much. So yeah, I mean it's just like training wheels.
Was that the Cherokee Street deal?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about this one. And I don't know if these might be pictures from when you remodeled it. I think this was one.
Yes. I did not buy it like that. Man, somebody did a really good job remodeling that. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. So this is whenever the contractor that I use, he's really good. He's the most expensive contractor around, but that's because he's really good. He's a really good painter. He did a really, really nice job on this one. And I bought this house from a guy, and same thing. He just wanted a cash offer quick because he had a bridge loan on another house that he was buying, meaning interest only, and he was getting crushed by the interest payments. So I made him an offer good enough to where he'd accept it cash, and then I went in and remodeled it. We made a lot of money and sold it to a military member who eventually got behind on his payments and reached out to me. And I ended up taking this one back over subject to. And so now this is in one of my rental portfolios, one of the houses that I have after all that. So it's kind of full circle, but using all the things that Phil taught me to be able to secure this good deal. And it makes good money. So it makes I think the spread is about $800 or something like that a month. There's still a loan on this one. Most of the ones I have don't have loans, but this one is a subject to. So yeah, it's still got a loan on it.
Now, y'all, I just to kind of break this down for a minute. First of all, that's very, very unique. He buys this property, connects with a motivated seller, follows the right skills of communication, puts a deal together that fits for the seller. He does the remodel, and I don't know, the pictures are kind of small here. But he definitely used the style that I love, which is bright, in the color, the type of vinyl plank, and he's got the white trim, and I don't know if that's Repose Gray from Sherwin-Williams, but it's close to it. And so just the classic, but he did a good job. And it's interesting because he paid for the slightly more expensive contractor. That old phrase, what goes around comes around. He now is the owner of the property. So had he done a shoddy job on the renovations, he'd have been stuck with it, right? So very cool. He did a quality job, but you could tell where Matt's coming from in his heart. Right, and you've probably seen this if you've been on any of these Zooms. Our heart is to help others, is to obviously make a great profit, and we can do both. We can do win-win deals. So he literally remodeled this for a fellow military person to own it, and then he came back and helped him, and now he's the owner of the property, and he's the one that's the recipient of that quality craftsmanship. So yeah, and again I know we're showing two of your more recent deals right before you graduated. That's why I put these up here, and they also had good profits to them. But what role, if any, did communication play in you putting these deals putting this Cherokee deal together?
I mean, if you weren't listening, you wouldn't be able to provide value to them. So, I mean, you got to be able to listen. So communication is key. But again, the seller's just one piece of the puzzle. Just so, like you said, you got the title company, you got these real estate agents. And that's another thing too, is he had it listed. He had this thing listed, and she had her hooks in this, and said that, if you sell it within 6 months or blah, blah, blah. Well, technically, like it never really, never, it's sold, but it never really, and I took this one over at $0, by the way. I took it over for $0.
Yeah.
I didn't pay him anything for this to take it over because he was drowning in payments and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, it's not just the seller, it's not just the buyer, it's not just the
Right.
like it's well-rounded communication with everybody, and you got to make sure that you're keeping you're keeping it all together. Like you're the owner, like you're the one that it depends, like that makes the decisions, and all these other people, just consider them working for you. The title company works for me, and they forget that sometimes.
Sure.
These agents work for the clients, and they forget that sometimes. They think they're the ones buying the house. It's like, dude, you're just a transactor. You are
Right.
just a transactor. Like I play with my own money. There's a difference. And that's what I tell people. Look, you can throw a rock and hit an agent, but to throw a rock and hit a good agent, that's going to be tough. Now, to throw a rock and hit a broker is even harder, but to throw a rock and hit the best broker you've ever worked with, that's almost impossible. Let me tell you about my wife. And that's what I say. Like, that's exactly
Yeah.
what I say. So you
Just
talking
don't
about
throw a rock at my wife, please. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, don't throw a rock at her. Yeah, she might throw it back. But yeah, it's communication is a big deal. But at the same time, I think that whenever you do enough deals, you start to learn the flow, and you know who you got to stay on top of and who you don't, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So you gotta keep your thumb on everybody. Don't be scared of what people are going to think of you. Like, don't just call up and ask dumb questions. But at the same time, like, if you're asking for something and they're not giving it to you, hey, where's this at? Well, you called me yesterday. We don't have it yet. I understand that, but I need this yesterday. So, like, what can we do that's going to help this along? Just like
Yeah,
right there, that's a
that's
question.
the special forces training coming out. Yeah, yeah. Nobody wants to be behind on their responsibilities. That's exactly right. When they've got Matt at the helm, but I also love what you had mentioned, Matt, about the idea that one bad deal can be a big mistake,
Yeah.
especially if somebody puts their own money into a deal and that kind of thing. And that if somebody is too eager, use the phrase dog in the heat, because yes, definitely have used that over the years. That came from my mentor, by the way. He loved that phrase. But being too eager and not really looking at all angles of a deal, especially when it comes to helping the client, but also helping yourself. That's one of the things that is part of our program, Matt. We spent a lot of time together, just bouncing ideas off each other. Hey, and Phil, what about this? And even after you graduated, ever so often, I kind of enjoy it. You'll send me a text or a call and say, Phil, I got a real interesting situation. What do you think? And it's having that sounding board that helps ensure, especially when y'all are first getting started, everybody, you need to have experts in your side that have tremendous experience so that you have the right sounding board so that you go into these deals eyes wide open. And so you can come to the clients with solutions too. If you don't have those solutions, that's fine. We have them. We'll share with you what they are on a deal by deal basis. And then that way, when you connect with the seller, like, oh, that is a good idea. You can do that? Yes, I can. Yeah, that's exactly what we can do. Oh, I didn't know that it worked that way. Yep, it can work that way. And so, yeah, when you have all that in your corner, and that's what Matt had. I mean, Matt had us in his corner every step of the way as he got started. And you can tell the other thing, one of the attributes of Matt that's so special is he takes action. He just goes out there and does it, right? And again, it's not personality driven. That's just the way he is. He's like, look, if I'm going to commit to this, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go do it. And
Yeah. Yeah.
and and that makes a big impact because even a blind squirrel finds a nut. Y'all, when you go
Mhm.
out there and take action, you'd be shocked sometimes how the good luck just rolls your way.
And
Um,
I think that, before we hop off this subject, I think that if you don't know what you're doing, you need to ask as many questions and get the puzzle pieces together. And if you're like, well, I don't know the questions to ask, well, they'll help you with that. But you need to bring those questions or those answers to the mentors that are helping you, and they'll help you figure out if it's a deal or not. Like you don't, that's the thing. You don't have to do it all. I didn't start doing it all myself. I started by, hey, what do you think about this? What about this? It's not, hey, I'm a professional investor that makes a lot of money and has a bunch of rental property. When I first started out, I knew nothing. So I think that don't feel overwhelmed. Just know that you can do it, and that's why you're in the mentor program, is to be able to learn how they do deals. And actually, if you had the time and you were very, very motivated, the best way to be able to bypass all this of wondering what the questions to ask and all this stuff is to listen to every single call that Freedom Mentor has ever recorded.
Well, there you
And
go.
I guarantee you, after about the 150th, 200th call, you'd be able to figure that stuff out yourself without ever having to talk to a seller. Like, that's committed. And I didn't do that, but I did listen to some, and being on the calls and stuff like that, I'd hear people, I'm like, oh, that's easy. I do this, this, and this. But when I first started out, I had no idea. So if you want to bypass all that, you listen to the recorded calls, and boom, there's your answers for pretty much all the situations you'll ever run into.
There
It
it
is.
is.
It's true. And
By
you
the way,
actually
y'all,
could do one with me when I used to ask questions. Yeah,
that's
I don't know
right.
where
And
that.
Matt's entire story, by the way, is there in the chat too. So, where Brian and I, we did a more detailed interview with Matt, so you can find out, even more about his story. Um, so I hope you all have been given some great nuggets here from us. I know that what I'm sharing is simple as some of the things I shared, and of course, what the wisdom Matt shared and Brian. I know it's incredibly valuable. I know exactly how much money it's made. It's made people an absolute fortune. So I hope you're able to dig in and really internalize some of those lessons. I hope you can go apply it. Go apply it right afterwards. Go start asking questions to friends and family. Listen a little closer, and then come from that spirit of genuinely trying to help. You're interested in trying. You have that heart. It comes out. They can sense it. They can feel it. And deals, they just get attracted to you. Deals just come to you. And if you want to be like Matt, if you want to be like so many other guests we've had on these live Zooms, your first step is to connect with us to learn more about being mentored and about being a part of the apprentice program. As Matt said, no smoke and mirrors with us. You can see we're real. We know exactly what we're doing. And Brian and myself and our team have such a passion for mentoring and transforming you into a world-class money-making machine, a real estate professional, and someone that is doing a great service in their community. And one of the things too, Brian, I feel like we've often heard from these interviews, is that our people often are surprised by how much they grow as a person in their trajectory of becoming a successful investor.
You can't, but the sole piece of learn to listen will change your life, especially for us guys, right?
Yeah, and I think that being in business has been one of the best things that has happened to me, because I used to be a little hot underneath the collar, and that means you get angry easy. Maybe you guys knew that. I wasn't meant to be anything, but yeah. So being in business, my first response isn't, to bite back or whatever. My first response is silence, so I can think of an answer or think of something before I come back and get a review written on me that doesn't need to even happen. So I think that being in business is actually really, really good to help keep you cool underneath the collar. And you can take that, like you said, and apply it to your family life and your kids and whoever. So I think it's been very beneficial for all the things that I've been through in this course to help me be a better human being and actually care more towards others. It's not about yourself. It's about others. So I think
Yeah.
that's very good, actually, Phil.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Matt, because yeah, I mean that's where you've always come from. I mean, obviously you served in our military. Thank you so much, sir. You're obviously coming from a servant's heart. For those of you that would like to be like Matt, would like to be like so many others that we brought on here that you all get to meet, um, uh, you select here to learn more about being mentored by us. So, what is our program? It's doing deals with us. We're doing deals with you. When you win, we win. It's this magical formula where our incentives are aligned. When you're successful, we're successful. We share in the net profits after all expenses, 50-50 on the first $500,000 in net profits created. So 250,000 in your pocket. And we work with you until you reach that. Okay, so it's through a period of success. It's not like a period of time. Some reach it quickly. We had a guest on here named Jordan. He accomplished that in less than a year and a half. He felt it was too fast. I remember because he actually did more profit sharing with us. Matt, you were in a really tough market in the beginning,
Ooh, yeah,
and
you
you
could say that again.
And then you moved to a more rural area and you really took off. But you were still in our program a couple of years before you officially graduated. So the time frame can differ from person to person, area to area, but we're with you until you succeed. We know that this is the best small business that has ever existed in America, and it continues to be that great even here in 2026. We call it creative real estate investing and flipping houses. And there's so many different ways we do it. It's not one technique. It's a ton of different angles that we take and we match the right strategy with the deal. And we teach you that. We teach you every step of the way how to do these deals so that when you do graduate, you're a world-class professional, just like Matt is at this point. And at this point, he's got a portfolio of rental properties so that, as he mentioned, if he wants to do a deal, he can. If he doesn't want to do a deal, he doesn't need to. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to be in life. You can be there. Now, is it going to take a few years through our tutelage? Yes, but you'll get there. And it's a magical place to be there. And once you're there and you stay there. So to learn more about being mentored by us, select yes right there. And so Douglas, right there, if you have to go, just select yes right there. Um, and then the next step is, let me show you this real quick. Uh, so right here, select how you'd like to connect. If you want to connect with us tonight, perfect. If you want to connect with us a little bit later, you can do that too. You can schedule for later, but we have a couple of team members, and we'll give you a shout. It's pretty cool how our system works. So when you select that right now button, um, because you're in Zoom, somehow it knows your phone number and it's able to send that over to a team so we can give you a call. Yeah, Matt, the tech's getting more and more fancy.
I remember my first phone call, Phil, and I won't go into details, but yeah, I remember my first phone call with them, and it was good. All I could say is just burn the ships, guys. Burn the ships, don't hold back. Somebody asked me if I'm licensed. No, the wife is licensed, not me. I try to separate myself that way. I don't have to worry about wearing two hats. And but yeah, no, I mean, I think that if you're going to do it, there's no better time than now. Like, don't procrastinate because you'll be down the road 10 years from now thinking, man, I should have done that. Um, Better to have tried and failed than never tried at all. So, I mean, I really think that that's true. But if you actually put your heart into it and give it the old college try and don't give yourselves any outs, there's no reason but to make it. Like when I went through the indoctrination training and all that stuff, like there wasn't an option. MC, I'm either dead or I'm going to make it through. So it's going to be hard. That's part of it, or everybody would do it. So like you gotta frame it right in your mind going in, and just know that you got the best coaches that there are around the United States. I truly believe that. And look at my reviews that's on Phil's. You could probably pull it up and find it whenever I was a student. It hasn't changed this whole time, and I'm not getting paid or nothing to say this. It is real. It's real. You can do it. It's just you gotta put some oomph into it. And if you can do that, I don't know why you're waiting. You should probably just go ahead and do it right now. I mean,
I
honestly,
appreciate that, Matt.
yeah.
And I appreciate that because I think what you also get a chance to see from Matt is what you see is what you get. That's Matt right there. And he's right. We're not paying him anything. We asked him as a favor because he's been successful with us. He said, "Hey, would you come on and do this?" And he said, "Yeah, I'd love to." And he's doing it just out of the goodness of his servant heart. And we appreciate it, Matt, because yeah, by you all getting a chance to see his results, by you all getting to just get to know him, it's just one more example of, okay, are these the right people to be working with? And I hope that's where you land because we want to help you become successful. Uh, yeah, we don't have that word failure here in this vocabulary.
No,
We
no.
make sure if that person's willing to stick to it, we make sure that they're successful. All right. Well, Matt, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here tonight. You are the man, as always.
Well,
I love that you don't bring the filter. You be you. I love that. Thank you so much for being you tonight, man. As always, it's a pleasure to hang out with you.
I filtered a little. I would have showed you my bicep, but I had to, Phil. I had to.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
no, I enjoyed it too. Thank you
after
guys for
party.
having me on. And yeah, I mean, that's the least I can do is be on this because of everything you've done for me. I mean, that's just that's how I feel.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right. Well, y'all tell Matt thank you very much for his participation. And as always, Brian, thank you as well for taking
Absolutely.
time out of your schedule and be a part of this with this group. All right, everybody. Well, I look forward to working with those of you that are ready to take it that next level and become a serious and successful creative real estate investor. And so next step is have a video that'll start playing. You might even see Matt on there with some of our people that have been successful and have done deals with us. Give you some more inspiration. And so otherwise, our team will be reaching out to you all that said you'd like to connect with us right now. And we'll see y'all next week. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks,
You're
everybody.
welcome, Phil.